Hey, it's Danny. Welcome to Anything Goes, and today I am joined by Nick, also known as Nick Woolley on social media. Today I'm going to be asking him a couple questions about his TikTok, and by the end you will know all the secrets to getting TikTok fame. Before we begin, a few quick things. First of all, I do have an Instagram and Twitter, which I'll link in the description. Also, go check out Nick on TikTok, which I'll also put in the description and should be somewhere on the screen right now, where he posts, I would say, comedic content. Anyways, why don't you introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are?
What is up, guys? My name is Nick Woolley. The I is a 1 on TikTok and my social media. And basically, I'm just a dude from Chicago, Illinois. I post short form comedy videos on TikTok. I enjoy making other people laugh, and that's basically what I do.
Of course, of course. So, why don't we sort of begin in saying why you began and sort of how you got to the 325,000 followers that you have now?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I would always make YouTube videos, and I'm talking 6, 7 years old. Like I always enjoyed making videos. Not necessarily comedy videos, but I would just enjoy making videos. And then when I was in middle school, Vine was a thing,
Mm.
and I really liked Vine. And then I kept making videos on Twitter and stuff. And then closer to this year, or last year, I should say, I started getting people started telling me, oh, this TikTok thing is the new Vine.
Mm.
And I did that, and I was like, oh, sweet, perfect. We finally have another Vine. And I downloaded the app, and I quickly realized absolutely nothing like Vine. I mean, it was atrocious.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if no one else is gonna make funny videos on here, I guess I will, because it's just something to do. And so I started doing it, and now there are a lot more people that do comedic videos and stuff like that. So it's nice how everything's panned out on TikTok.
Yeah. And you sort of, so how long ago would you say you started? How many years ago?
Yeah, I started in February of 2019. So last year, beginning of last year, is when I made my first video.
Oh, okay. So then would you consider yourself to be a progressive account, or would you consider yourself to be more of a, okay, I get a viral video, I gain 30,000 followers, and then I sort of slow down?
Whenever I first started out, it was that way, because if you go, it's still up there. My first ever video I posted was 1.8 million views, and it exploded. So at that point, I got 30,000 followers from one video, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And then over time, since that video, it's been a constant growth in followers. Like, there's no crazy spikes, and it's nice and consistent.
You sort of, you're at a point of, 300,000, which is definitely something that most people don't have, but you're also not at like a million plus, which starts to become a different game when you get to that point. But would you still say that many of the aspects of being that famous still come when you have 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000 even?
Um, I don't know if I would say fame. I mean, 300,000 followers on TikTok, I wouldn't say is the equivalent to 300,000 subscribers on YouTube by any
Yeah.
means, or Instagram like that. So, I mean, whenever I see people who have 100,000 followers on TikTok try to act like they're big and famous, it drives me crazy. But, um, hmm,
So yeah, let me give you a sort of an easier question that has to do with
yeah, sorry.
that, which you just answered, I think. But would you say that you can even have fame from TikTok at a certain point? And is that a follower count on TikTok, or is it something else that is fame?
Yeah, I think you can definitely have fame from TikTok.
Yeah.
It really depends on what your genre is. Like, for example, Charlie D'Amelio, when she first started out, she danced. And when I
Hmm.
first started out, I was making volleyball videos and comedy videos like that. And I had a bunch of followers from the volleyball world. And I'd walk into a volleyball tournament, and there would be tons of people wanting to take pictures. And I would talk to these people, and I even signed a couple volleyballs from time to time, which is really cool. But the moment I step out of there, no one knows who I am. So
Huh.
it really depends your niche or your genre. But I've switched over. I don't do as much volleyball now anymore. I mean, I can't, because can't go play volleyball or anything like
Mm.
that. And I do. So those people that enjoy comedic videos, um, know who I am, and I would say is a certain level of fame, I guess.
So then how does that explain Charlie D'Amelio or Addison Rae or any of like the top 10, I would say, are dancers, and how do they get their fan base when they're doing what 50 other thousand people are doing?
That's a good question, dude. I would say because TikTok is, let's say, half guys, half girls.
Hmm.
Uh, Girls and guys can like dancing, but dancing is mostly a girls thing, I would say.
Yeah,
So probably attracts a ton of followers that are girls. And then they also want to be as attractive as possible, which draws in a
guys.
ton of guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is probably part of it because you don't see too many guy dancers getting popular on TikTok.
Hmm. So you're
So
saying it's almost looks that can be a make or break when it comes to making dancing videos?
I mean, it could if someone's choosing to follow two dancers that are the same and one looks better than the other. I mean, for some people that could be a make or break.
Hmm. Yeah, and that sort of like taking a step back is you were saying that your niche is volleyball, right? Is that even though you post comedic content, that's sort of what you could base yourself around?
Yeah, back when I first started out, or like yeah, still now I would say I would post volleyball videos. There's a second account that I'm a part of now where I post more volleyball videos and stuff like that. But on my main account, it's just mostly comedy now.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna ask. Obviously, you're at a point where you've already committed, right? You're already going to a college, right?
yeah, yeah.
But is there any chance that you thought TikTok could be a reason that you get colleges to notice you, because everyone is on TikTok and people are getting sponsorships left and right. So, what's sort of stopping you from someone seeing your highlight that's a college coach on TikTok and saying, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, that could be a good strategy to. Well, here's a little story. I committed before I even had my TikTok, so that was
Oh,
nothing I had to worry about. But after I made my TikTok, I have received a lot of messages from other college coaches and a lot of emails and texts from people, other coaches that say they've seen my TikTok, and I just got to tell them every time I'm already committed. But it definitely is possible to do
hmm.
that.
Yeah. Well, at what point did you start seeing that type of crowd, or the crowd that isn't just, fans and more collabs or sponsorships type people? What point did you start seeing those coming in?
Sponsorships, ugh, sponsorships. You said.
Yeah. Or even
I
college
started
coaches.
in college coaches. So college coaches, I would say after I got to maybe 100,000 followers,
Hmm.
my coaches knew about it from my college, and word just kind of spread. So I would say for that, yeah, and then sponsorships, maybe 250,000 is when I started getting offers for brands and things like that.
Hmm. And did you take those brands immediately, or was there a huge thought process going through that whole?
Yeah, every time I get an offer for a brand, like 95% of the time it's a no. And people will see me do an ad on my TikTok and they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Nick, you're a sellout." But what they don't realize is that I get like 3 emails every day. And most of the time I just say no to the brands. And the only time I ever do a brand deal is if I believe that it's legit and I know that it's something that I would personally use.
Huh. Yeah. So, I've speaking to other people, and they've spoken to other people, and they've talked about sort of like companies that almost try to get you to give away your account to them without seeing that. Does everyone come across that, or is that more of a special story to see someone say someone give you some contract that you could tell they're just trying to get your account?
For me personally, that's only happened one time, and I saw right through it when they offered it, so I said no immediately. But I could see how that would happen to other people, but that's only happened to me once. So I would say once in a while, perhaps, but regularly, probably not.
Hmm. Okay, so it's not like a common thing to see all the time, where that's not the reason why you look at sponsorships carefully. you look at it carefully for a different reason?
I mean, I do look at it carefully to make sure that it's legit and it's not a scam and they're not trying to take over my account. Because a lot of the times, whenever a brand will contact you, if they're upfront and they're honest, they say, "Hey, yo, we want you to make 2 videos saying this exact stuff in your description with this hashtag." That's usually something that you can trust,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something they say we'll pay you once you send us the drafts. If they're upfront and they're honest, you know that that's something that they're probably legit about. But whenever it's a company that comes to you and says, "Hey, we want you to endorse our product. Would you be willing to have talks with us?" And then that's how they get you. You say,
Oh,
"Sure." Post one video, they say, "Oh, we don't really like that one. We'd like it if you posted another one, and we'll give you this much money." You post another one, they say, "Oh, that's good, but we would like something else," and they just keep doing it over and over again. And that I've seen
okay.
happen to some of my friends and stuff like that. So that is something you got to look out for.
So you put yourself in a hole in a way.
Yeah, sometimes
And
it happens.
I always ask this question because I feel like even me personally, if I see an email for the first time that says we're willing to pay you blah 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 for commissions if people buy this product and we'll give you some free product, right? If I were to get an email like that, probably the first one I feel like I would do without thinking much about it because it's
Yeah.
a new thing. Did you sort of have to settle into the fact that you were going to get more sponsorships and it's fine rejecting them?
Oh, absolutely. At first, whenever I got my first sponsorship offer, it was like I didn't even have to read. I read the headline, done deal. Didn't even
Yeah.
have to worry. Um, and then after time, you start to realize that it's basically you just live and you learn. You do it after a certain amount of time. It's just something that comes with experience. You can
Hmm.
see through like who's lying and what's not. And then another thing that there are brands that contact you, but me personally, the way I've made most of my money on TikTok is actually through artists, musical artists.
Hmm.
And I thought that's something interesting because a lot of people they think, oh, you make money off of brands, which you do, but if you're a content creator and you have a lot of followers, most of the time there's going to be underground artists that you've never heard of that would just like you to have their song in the background of your videos, and it ends up doing wonders for them and you. It's a good thing, but yeah, that's just one of the ways.
Oh, so you're using their sound.
Yeah, from time to time, I'll do brand deals, and then I'll also sometimes use artists that you've never heard of. I'll use their sound in the background.
Hmm. Yeah, and this goes into a little bit of a touchy situation, and I know, you're off to college and all, but money, and that seems like a shaky thing on TikTok because obviously TikTok doesn't pay you anything for posting.
Mm-hmm.
So I always ask when you started getting more followers or if you were guaranteed to get more followers, like a huge amount more, do you ever make that your lifestyle or do you always have education above that?
I would have education above that because TikTok could end tomorrow. You
Yeah.
know, it could just go down the drain tomorrow. Education, getting a degree, and all that. That's always going to be there. Would I like to do TikTok and keep making money from TikTok and YouTube and all these other social media platforms? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But 20, 30, 40 years down the road, I'm not going to be sitting in my house making TikTok videos. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah.
So,
So you're thinking more, I guess education is always, or yeah, that's the reason I bring it up is because education is always there, but the
yeah,
opportunity to make money off of social media isn't always there once you give
correct.
in. So that's why I've always wondered what sort of goes through your mind when you think about that because it is, you have to give it up at a certain point.
Yeah. And because I'm playing volleyball in college,
Yeah.
once I start my freshman year, I can't make any money off of TikTok anymore
Mhm.
or off of any social media really. And that doesn't bother me at all because I mean, I never did it for the money in the first place. It was just a cool little perk that came with it after a while.
Yeah.
So I'm like full prepared. I'm ready to go. Like whatever happens, happens. Hopefully I can build up a fan base while I'm in college. And then once I get out, I'm at least on one hand, I have a degree where I can go pursue a career in something that I enjoy. Or maybe on the other hand, I have a bunch of followers and I have a social media presence and I can make a living off of that. So at least I'm playing it safe and I have options instead of just limiting myself, you know?
Oh, so you're sort of saying that you fully expect to do it until it's done with, and that it's sort of just a side thing always?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because I guess the only reason you would have to make that decision is because you can put more time into it. Obviously, if that's the only thing you're doing.
Yeah, if you post a lot of videos and you post like my followers, they don't get upset if I post an ad because I rarely ever do it.
Yeah.
But if you're just someone who's constantly doing ads nonstop, like I don't know if have you seen these Bang Energy ads
Yeah.
that are all over?
They work.
Oh my god.
I know about Bang Energy now.
Yeah, like I mean it works, but
Yeah.
anytime I see one, I'm like, you got to be joking. Like, can you move the can a little bit more? um, but yeah, if someone's constantly making good videos, um, I wouldn't have a problem with them doing, one ad. Maybe if they're posting 3 videos a day and one of them's an ad, I wouldn't have a problem with that personally. That's just
Yeah.
me. But if you're posting an ad and that's all you're doing nonstop, that would get boring. That would get old real quick.
Yeah, and I touched on this issue before, but I'd like to sort of hear your opinion on it. But from what I see, there's no way for TikTok to last. How I see it is, obviously when it was Musically stages and when it was first starting, many people did it for fun because you wouldn't even think about getting ads and doing all this money, so you wouldn't download the app for that. It seems
Absolutely.
like what now that there are sponsorships and things like that, and there are live streams where you can make money, that it seems like a lot of people are getting to that point and selling their account out. But if they take away the ability to make ads, that gets rid of a lot of these big creators who can't live off of their TikTok anymore. So what would you I don't see where TikTok goes with this to not become ad after ad after ad.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen a lot in the comedy center of things on TikTok, there's a lot of comedy creators who just straight up leave TikTok and go to YouTube because they're saying what you're saying. You don't get paid, you're gonna leave, but at the same time, will it last? I don't know exactly how long TikTok will last. I say it at least has another year or two in it before
Oh
it
yeah,
starts dying,
yeah, yeah.
but definitely not forever. I mean,
Hmm.
we all thought Vine was going to be forever. It wasn't. Um, Way back in the day, people thought Tumblr was going to be
Yeah,
around. Nope.
yeah,
Nope, it's not. Every social media eventually at some point. That's why it's always a good idea to branch out. That's why I'm starting to make YouTube videos now and get subscribers on YouTube as well, just to play it safe. So I have, followers here and there, and it's not just putting all your eggs in one basket.
yeah. And that seems like a common thing, is trying to transfer your followers. So then, what is Instagram and YouTube doing right? Because you obviously, like majority of people would think that YouTube is a lot more safe than, or a lot less shaky than where TikTok is right now. But why is that? What is YouTube doing?
I would say that YouTube, first of all, in order to get paid on YouTube, you have to go through this whole process of you got to have, I believe, 4,000 hours watched and 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So that already cuts out a whole bunch of people from putting ads on their videos. And then after that, if the video is under 10 minutes long, you can only put one ad in it, and it's at the very beginning before the video starts. Whereas on TikTok, the ads are the video.
Yeah.
I feel like that is what YouTube does right. It puts the ad at the beginning, and if the video is longer than 10 minutes, you can put an ad here and there. And they're only quick 15-second ads that you can skip. So that is what I would say YouTube does right. Instagram, it's just a quick swipe. The ads are real quick. You just swipe right past it. So it's not something that's bothersome. Yeah, the only problem with TikTok is that the ad is the video. If they were putting ads before the video, that would be something if it
Hmm.
was short. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So then what does, because obviously TikTok is known for having short attention span people that don't want to see an ad as an entire video. So what does TikTok do? What do they change? Because the
Well,
video itself is already 15 seconds long.
yeah, and what they're doing right now, you open up the ad, the first thing you see, or you open up TikTok, and the first thing you see is an ad,
Yeah.
and they get that way. I I don't know what I would do in order to fix that, but I would say TikTok would have to start paying the people directly. TikTok would have to sell ad space to advertisers instead of having creators make the whole video advertisements.
Okay. So make it more of a TikTok giving back to the creators type thing instead of a creators having their own personal business in a way.
Yeah, because yeah.
All right. So then obviously, we could talk about this for ages and ages. But going a little bit back to your personal TikTok account, what are some of your goals seeing that, you do have you have college coming up and you have volleyball that you have to work on, but what would some of your goals be with TikTok itself?
Um, See, whenever I started it, I was really numbers based. I was thinking, oh, well, it would be because my first, I was like, oh, it's sweet if every video I post could get 10,000 views. That would
Yeah.
be cool. And then once I started getting that, I was hungry to get the next number, then the next number, and the next number. And then one day I received a DM from this kid named Jimmy, who's like 10 years old or something. And he said that my videos like made him feel like he was sad sometimes, and my videos helped him cheer up. And when I read that, that kind of changed everything for me because then I started realizing, it's not about how many people see it, but the people that do see it, you could be helping them. And
Yeah.
so I have like the 325,000 followers, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like I'm cool with the constant growth. If we get a bunch of followers, awesome. But I don't really have a goal number to get because I feel like what I'm happy with what I'm doing right now, and I'm happy with the people that follow and support me right now. So I'm cool with that.
So could you touch on any of your goals outside of a follower count or a view count or money at all? Do you have any goals with the fan base that you have now?
The fan base that I have now, I mean, my only goal really when I make these videos is just to make people laugh. That's that. I mean, that I don't have a goal numbers wise. My goal is to just make these people laugh and make their days better. And whenever I get DMs from people on Instagram or comments saying that I do it, that is when I feel like I've reached a goal.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So you would consider yourself to be more of a I want 100,000 followers that care about me or that I can help rather than 200,000 that doesn't really connect with me that well.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the 300,000 followers that I have. Is that I have friends on TikTok that have millions of followers, and they're all ghost followers. They saw one cool video of that person, followed, they rarely check out their account, don't really care for them that much. They just dropped a follow one day, maybe deleted the app later. My 300,000 follower, 325,000 followers, I have a really great engagement rate with those people, and
Mm.
that's something that a lot of advertisers see. Going back to advertising, that's something that the advertisers care about more than followers is the engagement. So whenever I go to look for what my engagement is and stuff like that, and I see that I have a really high percentage. At one point, it was like 30%.
Mm.
Um, I mean, that means way more to me than having a million or 5 million followers. So
It brings up the question of is all type of fame good fame? And there are obviously, there's a huge trend going around, which is sort of like focus on one person, and that's what, like, I don't know if you've seen like Debbie Ryan or Nessa
yeah,
Barrett. When they get caught up in drama or action, everyone's video is about them. And they're obviously most of the time they're not about good things about them. Do you think that that's still good fame in the fact that now everyone knows who Debbie Ryan is?
no, definitely not, because they're like, canceling season. People love to cancel people. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why. They absolutely love to do it. You do one tiny thing wrong, especially if you're one of those big people like Debbie Ryan right now, or the one people that people focus on, and it's like you make one tiny mistake, it's just so magnified, you know.
Yeah.
And same is they're not showing all the things that they do right or all the things that they've done well, the money they've donated, the things that all it takes. It doesn't matter how many great things you've done. You do one bad thing, it's over. People want to cancel you.
Do you think that that's right? Do you think that
No,
there's ever a time where someone can do something where they deserve to be canceled?
it would depend. You have to commit a serious crime to be canceled, I feel like. But everyone makes mistakes. If you make a tiny mistake that people amplify for whatever reason because you're the big celebrity right now, no, I don't think you deserve that. Now, if you went out and committed homicide and killed 15
Yeah.
people, yeah, it'd probably be time to cancel you. It's time to go. But no, not if not if it's something minor.
So then let's use a common example of what it seems to be is a lot of these TikTok creators have videos of them saying the N-word or using
Yes.
some type of racial slur. What do you think people should do about that if it's not them getting canceled, or do you think it should just be okay, they made a mistake, let's move on?
Um, I'll use Lil Huddy as an example.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Whenever that whole thing happened, I don't watch any of Lil Huddy's videos. I hardly even know who the guy is. Okay,
Hmm.
but the dude made a mistake, and he said, and no one should ever say it.
Mm.
And the thing that happens is whenever people say that word, all the heat's on them for maybe a week. Week
Yeah.
later, no one talks about it. It's completely forgotten. Um, and in Little Huddy's case, do I feel like he should be canceled completely for saying the word and just be kicked off of TikTok forever? No, because he's young and he
Hmm.
made a stupid mistake. If he were to do it a second time, done, canceled, get him out. Like that's just you. You're supposed to
Bad
learn.
influence, yeah.
Yeah, don't make the same mistake twice.
But then do you think that he deserves hate? Just not being canceled, but just do you think that he needs that or he needs hate to show that he shouldn't do it again?
I think that it's a good wake up call because he makes the mistake. He says a word that means hate. It's rooted in hate,
Yeah.
and he's going to get that back from the community that he's talking to. And it's a wake up call, and I feel like it's good for him. And it kind of tells him, hey, don't do that ever again. You know?
Yeah. And obviously there are certain points where it's taken outside of social media that I've seen examples of those where, obviously everyone's information is online, but
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, address drops, and that can lead to serious issues that I guess no one really deserves, but it seems like a problem is that they can't see you behind the screen. And that's always been a big thing is cyberbullying, but especially when someone has 40 million fans, either you think that your hate comment isn't going to affect them enough, which is why you make it worse, or just, with 40 million fans, you're bound to get some hate. So I think it can be taken personally, and that's I wanted to ask you, do you enjoy, or is there ever a point where you don't like being noticed in person or at a volleyball tournament? Are there negatives to having people come up to you and say, "Can I get a picture with you?" or something like that?
Um. Well, I never have a problem with someone coming up and taking a picture or asking, hey, can you make a TikTok with me? Sign this volleyball, whatever.
Yeah.
Totally cool with doing that. Like that's awesome. But there have been times where I've been playing at a tournament and dudes will start talking trash through the net about, oh, this kid makes TikToks. Personally, I don't take it to heart. I don't get thrown off by that kind of stuff. I mean, this is what I signed up for this. I'm going to get
Yeah.
hate along with the love. Um, but you can't let yourself get lost in the hate, but you can't let yourself get lost in the love either. You got to stay in the middle.
Huh. Yeah, and then did you ever get lost in the hate? Like, does every creator, would you say, at one point debate whether they want to keep doing this because of hate?
Well, I would say when you first start out, because like I told you earlier, I've been making videos for a long time. And when I was going into my freshman year of high school, I had a YouTube account, had like 800 subscribers, and these upperclassmen would just make fun of me it was terrible, just making
Yeah.
fun of me all the time. And so I stopped making videos for a really long time until my junior year. And those people graduated. And I'm like, well, now that they're gone, thank goodness I can make videos now. And I look back on it and I'm like, why would you stop making videos because a couple of people told you shouldn't, or people said you shouldn't? And then I started making these TikToks, and the people around the school, I was getting made fun of because it's like, you're a guy trying to make these funny videos. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Then I start getting a bunch of followers. I come back for my senior year, everybody's all for it. So in the beginning, it sucks, but then once people see you have a tiny bit of success, then they completely change. They want to be your best friend. They want to be in your videos. They want you to shout them out. And it just, you can see how fake people can be sometimes.
And then how that seems like it is a big issue in, obviously, if you're a high schooler, especially, that a lot of people, even if they're, they could be great people, but they still want to sort of leech off of your followers because everyone has social media. So why would someone not want a shout out from someone with 325,000 followers, So how did you make sure you were associated with the right people, especially when you said you started seeing a bunch of people change their views of you?
Well, the people that were there with me making videos, like laughing with me, saying, hey, these videos are pretty cool. When I was younger, and they keep doing it consistently from whenever I was nothing to now I have like these 325,000 TikTok followers.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to see who's been there with you the entire time versus the people who are trying to bandwagon on you.
Yeah, and then, I obviously think that's definitely a way that you can think of it, but how do you know? Because obviously you meet new people, that it seems it's almost impossible to meet someone now or create a new friendship if they bring up your TikTok immediately.
That is very true. I'm going to college, and I'm going to a small college in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
There are about 2,500 of us. And we've had to do Zoom calls and stuff like that, meet our future classmates. And the first thing that gets brought up every time is, oh, you're that guy from TikTok. You make these TikTok videos.
Hmm.
And whenever people say that, it's awesome because you feel a little accomplished, like, oh, sweet, these people know who I am. But like you said, then it's kind of hard to see if they're trying to be your friend because they like you, or if they're trying to be your friend because they want to help themselves. So it is a little hard to see through.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, the people that stick with you and support you, no matter what decision you make, that's whenever you know that person is a real friend.
So it might just take a little bit more time, is what you're saying, is that
Yeah.
it's great that now you can meet all these people, and that if anything, you probably have more options of who you want to associate yourself with because of TikTok. But the only downside would be, really having to figure out whether they're there for you or there for your follow count.
Exactly. And it's good that I'm also playing a sport in college. Like, the guys I'm going to play with, I've known since before this whole TikTok thing. So it's nice that I have a friend group that I know has been there for me and will be there for me. But
Yeah.
for the new people, yeah, I might just have to keep my guard up for a little longer than usual. But, it's pretty easy to tell when someone's trying, if they're like, oh, yeah, we can be friends and make videos. That's the first thing they say. Just forget about it, throw the TV out the window. See you later.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I think, many people are definitely listening to this, that even though you don't consider yourself to be famous, that you speak a lot on getting noticed from people. So I'm gonna throw out a question. I want you to answer it however you want to interpret it, because it can be taken many ways. But how
Gotcha.
how do you get famous? Then how would you put that in your words?
I would say famous is whenever you can go literally anywhere and someone recognizes you. The reason I would say if we were to label me famous, maybe in the volleyball world, if anything, maybe in that tiny circle in the world, maybe famous there. But there are people, if you look out the window or you're walking down the street and you see Kanye West, everybody on the street knows who Kanye West is.
Mm-hmm.
That man is famous. But you see someone, if someone has 40,000 TikTok followers, let's say, and they're walking down the street, odds are they're most likely not going to get noticed by people.
Yeah. So then how do you get to that point? How do you use
How,
your social media get to the point where, obviously I would consider Charlie D'Amelio to be famous. What do you tell people that are using social media and trying to get to a famous standard, or even just a TikTok fame standard?
so if people are trying to get TikTok famous, I would say that if you're trying to get TikTok famous, you have to, first of all, pick a niche or a genre that you really enjoy. For me, I like comedy. For you, you might like something else. And you got to make videos about that because you love it. And the fan base that you're going to get from that is going to be people that enjoy what you like. For example, volleyball. I got a bunch of volleyball followers in the beginning, and I got, we could say, quote unquote, famous in the volleyball world for making volleyball videos. And if you're trying to get TikTok famous, that's basically the secret, is that you just have to post consistently and post things that you enjoy posting about, and then people from that area are going to follow you and they're going to enjoy you.
And they'll eventually notice you.
Eventually, if you get a big enough following in that. So let's say, I'm trying to think of an example here. Let's say you are a bowler, okay?
Yeah. Got
You
it.
enjoy bowling. You make bowling videos. You get 10,000 followers that are also bowlers. You're probably not going to get noticed. But if you get to a point where you have 500,000 bowlers following you, you can walk into any bowling alley and people are going to know who you are.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, because
No,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point you reach, because like I said, for me, I feel like the only reason I got volleyball famous is just because the volleyball community is not nearly as big as the dance community
Yeah.
or the foot or all that. It's a very small community. So yeah, but the bigger the community is, the more famous you get.
So do you believe that anyone who's posting videos right now will eventually get to a, let's say, 100,000 followers? Let's just use it as an example. Do you think that someone who is posting, the only reason not everyone gets fame or clout is because they stop? Or do you think that there are certain people that could post for 5 years on and still not get followers because of their content?
I
If
don't
that
think
question makes
that,
sense.
I think if you keep it up, you will gain followers, because the way the TikTok algorithm works is you make a video, and if you use hashtags the right way, it'll get shown to the right people. But you make a video, it's shown to all your followers. On top of that, it's shown to 300 to 500 random people.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say every day you post a video. That's 300, 500 new people that are seeing you every day. And if just one of those people follows you, at the end of the year, you have 365 new followers who see every video that you post.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing. That's what's great about the TikTok algorithm, is that it's an even playing field for everyone. You make a video, it gets shown to 300, 500 random people. If it does well there, it goes to the next 1,000 people. If it does well there, 10,000, millions. Yeah, so I do feel like if you keep it up and you keep posting consistent videos, the follower count will start to rise.
Would you say you have any other big major tips or any interesting social media stories that you've had?
If it's, yeah. So if you're young, you just need to. You can't make the mistake I make and just stop posting videos because some idiots told you to not post videos. You know, like you're doing this podcast right now. You're making these podcasts. How old are you? If you're comfortable saying that.
I'm 15.
You're 15 years old doing this podcast right now,
Yeah.
and if you and let's say your goal is to get 10,000 listeners. I assume that you listen to other podcasts. That's why you do podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Who would you say is one of your favorite podcasts? You know who Joe Rogan is, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan started doing podcasts when he was in his 30s. And
Yeah.
it took him a long time to get to 10,000 viewers or listeners an episode. You start making these videos, you start doing all this stuff when you're young, you're so far ahead of the game. It's going to help you so much in the future. So that's why I always tell people, if you have something that you love and you're young, you got to attack it. Like, you got to start doing it when you're young, because you get that head start over every 10 years down the road. You're going to have so much more experience than other people. It's going to put you light years ahead of them.
Yeah. I not a lot of people really speak on that issue, and I think it's honestly great that you are, because you're right. Even if in the worst case scenario I have 10 listeners in 6 years of me doing this, let's say, well, if I were to start in 6 years, then I wouldn't have those 10 listeners. And
Exactly.
it can be, obviously you always hope to do really well, but whether you fail or not, or you get a small viewer count, you're doing that to get somewhere. You're somewhere.
Exactly. And you have the experience. You're far ahead of the rest of the game.
But do you ever think that there is a time where, just say I wanted to do these podcasts, let's say, and I'm not getting that many viewers per podcast. Do you think there's ever a point where I should stop because it is time that maybe I could be doing something else? Or do you think you should always keep going?
I would have to ask, do you enjoy doing this? Like, right now, are you enjoying this?
Of course, yes.
Then absolutely I would keep doing it. I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't even look at the amount of people that are listening, because you're enjoying doing it. You're doing something that you enjoy. The followers will come. All right. The listeners will come. Even if they're not coming now, eventually they will be there.
Yeah.
You just got to keep up with it, and you enjoy doing it, so it makes it easier to do.
Do you think that it could affect school or my soccer team that I'm on? Do you think it could affect that because now I'm not investing as much time into that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that you have to, go all out and this is the only thing you can do forever, is just make these podcasts. Of course you're going to want to keep doing your school, and you're going to want to keep playing soccer and things like that.
Yeah.
But you definitely don't just want to stop because the numbers aren't there,
Oh, okay. So it's more, what you're saying is never really stop, but stop for the right reason.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that thought of not stopping, because I feel like that's where 90% of people stop, is not even because of school or anything else they're doing, but because they're not getting what they initially went in it for. And most people, I would say, go into social media looking for viewers. And, if you say you don't, usually you're lying. There's not some part of you that's saying, obviously, I want people to listen to my videos because I'm putting some time into it. But would you say you went in with a certain goal and that's why you eventually did well? Because your goal was different than what most people would? Or did you just, you had the right motive to just keep going?
I made the first video and I enjoyed making it. I thought it was funny. People started commenting that it was funny. I kept going with it, but there are a lot of people that just, like you said, don't get the followers or the number in their head that they went in with. And you know, I yes, of course, whenever I downloaded TikTok, I didn't want to be at 0 followers forever. You
Yeah,
know, I wouldn't.
yeah,
I didn't have that number or anything like that, but I wanted to, you know, get a couple of followers. You know, people that enjoyed the videos I was making, stuff like that. It's cool, but at first, you know, it wasn't really. You just got to keep grinding it out.
mm-hmm.
That's, yeah, you just have to grind it out. There's, I believe, maybe 125 videos on my TikTok right now, and I've made over 1,000. So I make all those, and then the best of the best get on there. So you just got to keep grinding.
Yeah. So would that be your big tip to people? Is just keep grinding?
Yeah, big tip would be keep grinding, and you can't get lost in hate. If anyone's hating on you, you can't get lost in that. But on the other side, if people start commenting great things about you, you can't get lost in that either, because then at that point you're just inflating your own ego, and you're gonna
Yeah.
start thinking you can lay back because I have a fan base. You just
Mm.
got to stay in the middle. You just got to stay consistent. You just got to keep grinding. You just got to keep doing whatever it is that you love doing. So that would be my one big tip for TikTok. You know, you just got to find something that you love, make videos about it, and keep doing it.
Yeah, of course. Would you say you have any other thoughts whatsoever? Or do you think we reached most of them?
Hmm. I think we've reached everything. I think we're good.
All right, well, it was a pleasure having you on here, really. I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
awesome.
here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here.
I'm going to tell everyone one more time that no matter what you're doing right now, I want you to go check out Nick's TikTok, you know, watch a video. If you don't like it, you can click off of it, but I'm sure you will like it. So go check it out. I'll put it in the description. Should be somewhere on the screen right now, like I said earlier. And yeah, thank you again for coming on here.
Thank you.